Going over to Chuck Crosby and the Crosby Law Office. Megan says she has a new business of interior decorating, Chuck. She says in this email she recently worked with a couple who are planning on selling their home. She helped do a variety of services for them, including choosing colors for the house to be painted as they get ready to sell. And she says they never paid her. Megan says she has never done this before, but she wants to know, how do you put a lien on a house before it's sold? Chuck, what's your thoughts on that?
You contact an attorney. You can do it yourself, and it's almost, it's a corollary to closings that sooner or later you're going to run into that ubiquitous drunken bricklayer who files a mechanics lien the night before a closing. Okay, you run into that kind of stuff. Those things are invariably a pain, but don't necessarily always do what you're trying to do. There are hoops to jump through. There are time frames that have to occur. There are notices that have to be given. Reading the statute, unless you're used to reading statutes, you're really not going to get the full flow of what you have to do. So absolutely call an attorney, get a mechanic material men's liens. There's all manner of liens along that line, but if you provide good services, whether there's a contract, not a contract, et cetera, there's a flow chart on how you are supposed to perfect that lien. An attorney is going to know how to do that.
Yeah.
I got a phone call last week from a builder who read it, and he's a good builder, and he was entitled to the money. And if he had just come to me, he would have had the mechanics lien all squared away. But he did it himself, and he missed a step, and now nastiness is occurring. Now, one thing to keep in mind, a mechanics lien has a life of 1 year. Okay, from when you place it to when it's sold. In that year's time, you're supposed to actually sue them for the amount of money they owe you. So you can't just file the lien and then expect that to do the trick. A year later, you don't have a lien anymore, even if you did do it correctly. So why you're not going to file the lawsuit yourself? So why not just go to the attorney who's going to file the lawsuit, have them do a mechanics lien? Hey, presto, everything's good.
Chuck, let me reverse this on you. So I hear if you're going to you want to file a lien, then you call an attorney, and I suspect you do this.
Yeah.
Right. How about if you've had a lien, you discover there's a lien on your property, will you also fight that side of it as well?
Well, you can. The thing is, like I said, it's got a 1 year life. We run into mechanics liens, and we call them mechanics liens. They are technically material men's liens. Okay, there are liens for mechanics. There are liens for, everybody from cobblers to, tailors. But a material men's lien is what we're technically talking about. But everybody calls it a mechanics lien. Anyhow, when you get one of those, it has a year of one life. So if it's a year old, and you just look to see if anybody filed a lawsuit. If they didn't file a lawsuit, then it's gone. If it is there, if it is proper, or if it's not proper, but it's still going to hold up a closing, a couple different ways to go about it. You can either sue them for slander of title, or you can bond the lien. There is a process by which you take out an insurance policy, and then the county clerk will take that insurance policy and bond over that lien. So there is a process. It's not cheap, but then again, it's usually cheaper than the alternative.
We will give out Chuck Crosby's number in just a little bit, folks, because if you're either have a lien on your house or know about it or planning to file a lien, Chuck is the guy to talk to. A reminder, if you're thinking of selling your home, we have a free no obligation booklet. It has hundreds of useful tips. If you'd like a copy, just send me an email. It's free of charge. Bob@WeSellLouisville.com. Put selling tips in the subject line. I'll send it right out to you. Bob@WeSellLouisville.com.